You know, in our nation, education is always touted as the key to success or achieving the American dream. I mean, we place so much emphasis on the quality of an education, where you went to school at, right? Some corporations, they pay thousands of dollars for marketing materials and flights, the proactive ones, flights all across the country so they can set up shops for career day at these prestigious universities, right? They figure, hey, if you graduated from this university, then you have the attitude or the work ethic necessary to thrive at whatever task I can give you. That's the type of employee I want. Right? Some people, we select our elected officials based off of their resumes. Hey, where'd you go to school at, man? Oh, well, hey, I mean, hey, if you went to school here, you have the attitude, the work ethic necessary to govern my state, my city, or my ward. That's the type of politician I want to vote for. That's what we say, right? Now, I'm painting this picture because I want to show you the correlation between the caliber of an education you're perceived to have attained and the job title. They're directly related. We place so much emphasis on the quality or caliber of an education in our country. And so, with that in mind, I've been asking lately, like, how come so many urban schools and students are failing to meet government standards, right? How come? I mean, let's not be blind to the fact right now there's a large segment of the population, the student population, the teachers, and the parents who've been victimized by an educational system that's under-equipped the teachers. Therefore, it's underserving the students, and most parents and taxpayers don't understand what's going on, right? Sure. I mean, what's going on is the educational system isn't accounting for different learning styles. I mean, people learn differently. Some people actually learn by memorizing things, which is actually the lowest level of learning. Some people learn by mimicking other people, and some people learn by being creative. That's how I learned best. That's why I always made rap music growing up. They called me Books, because I was able to take information and retain it by doing something creative with it. But our educational system doesn't account for that. It's not accounting for culture or capabilities, and as a result, the American dream becomes just that. It's just a dream that's not attainable by everybody. And among the demographics that are most impacted by this trend are going to be who? You know, right now it's African American adolescents, and all the research, the data, the surveys, the stats, it all points towards African American adolescents not being provided with a foundation to succeed in school. And I'm not blaming it on the teachers, right? I think it's a systemic problem within the educational system, because the stats are bad. You know, I keep on bringing up Jay-Z songs, but he said men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Well, the numbers aren't lying. The stats say African American adolescents aren't being provided with a foundation to succeed in school. And unfortunately for most African American students, this lack of a foundation is going to travel with them throughout their lives when they're applying for jobs, when they're applying for student loans. They're not going to have the soft skills that are necessary to make an impression, you know, let alone have the hard skills to be competitive. So, you know, I just really believe that, you know, I'm a graduate of alternative high school. Like, I went to alternative high school. They told me, you know, you go to the school with the drug dealers. You go to the school with the women that are pregnant. You go to the schools where those kind of people go, right? And you know, and you know, when I look back on my high school years, you know, I didn't think I was a bad student. I just thought that I wasn't engaging well with what the teachers were teaching. I mean, when you're not used to this student environment, if you can't adapt and conform to this environment, you're going to suffer academically. Like, they're going to place you in a special education class or label you as a delinquent or deem you to be a low-level learner, right? And the students that are less fortunate than that, they actually slip between the cracks and they never receive the attention they need to succeed in school, right? So as the educational system itself loses hope in their desire to, or their academic success rates, the students lose hope in their desire to make an effort. So a question that I think needs to be asked is, how can we, you know, our educational system, fulfill these students' needs and also provide them with the education and a desire to learn, which is just as important as reading any book. You know, before you teach somebody what to learn, you got to teach them how to learn. And once they understand how they learn best, they'll have a desire to learn more, right? And so, you know, I'm a firm believer that we need more teachers than students. Teachers and students. We need more teachers than books, because right now, the curriculum isn't being created around the teachers, so they don't, the students. I'm confusing you guys, excuse me, let me rewind. our role models in our community and our mentors need to work one-on-one with the teachers to create a curriculum around the students. Like if I know, just for example, if you like basketball, everybody say they want to be rappers and basketball players. If you like basketball, I know this as a teacher. Let's talk physics. Okay, the basketball hoop is 10 feet tall. You know, Derrick Rose, how tall is he? Okay, how much force does he have to generate to be able to get up and slam that basketball down? We can incorporate that into physics. We can start creatively, you know, creating this curriculum around the students, as opposed to saying let's teach everybody the same. Because right now, what's happening is more government standards and mandates aren't the answer. That's proven to be ineffective, because what they're saying is, hey, you know, this kid that's been in Mexico for the last 10 years of his life in that educational system, you have to teach that kid to the test the same as you would teach a kid that's been in the American educational system. And they're going to say to the teachers, hey, your salary depends on both of these students getting let's say a 70%. That's not fair to the teachers, right? It's not. And if it's not fair in that example, then if you really want to be real about reaching African American students and solving their real issues, then we're going to have to have role models that are going to step up to the plate and who are going to be able to work with the teachers and help the students connect what they're learning in school to their life. Because that's what education is all about, learning something practical that you can, or pragmatic, so you can go out in the world and make a positive contribution. Again, I want to continue to stress that, you know, I was a graduate of alternative high school, and that's where I went. How I got to college was, it was about 3 weeks before graduation, maybe a month. And my professor, or my teacher, she said to me, Jahmal, I want you to do a paper mache design. And you know, this paper mache design is going to be about whatever you want. So I picked Stonehenge. I don't know why, but I picked Stonehenge. And she was like, no, I want you to do Egypt. You know, that's your heritage. You know, you do Egypt. It's in Africa. And I was like, whoa. The first time, this is crazy, but the first time in my life, I never realized that Egyptians were African. Because every time I seen them, they didn't look like me. I didn't know they built the pyramids. So, you know, they said, hey, you know, they built the pyramids and they're aligned with the stars. I mean, every time I thought about African American history, I always thought of the transatlantic slave trade, and I thought about that's where we started. And I thought of our heroes being like anything but mathematicians and scientists. So when I found this information out, I took this. Man, I was like, whoa, I can do something. I can be an archaeologist. That's what I wanted to do, is go excavate caves and dig up tombs and stuff. So I ran to the guidance counselor's office at this alternative school, and I said, hey, I want to be an archaeologist. She looked at me and said, Jahmal, you don't even come to school hardly. What do you think? I was like, no, I'm going to Michigan University. Forget that, I'm going to Michigan. She was like, nah, man, you might as well join the Army, or you might as well join a trade school. So what happened was her phone rang, and she left the office for a second. And when she left the office, I looked to my left or right, wherever it was, and I saw a book. It was black. It had gold letters. It said All American Colleges. And so I was able to, you know, I grabbed that book, looked out the office, see where she was at. I opened it up, ripped the page out, didn't even look in it, just shoved it in my pocket. She came back and she was talking to me, you know, blah, 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 giving me constructive criticism or feedback. I thought it was hating at that point in my life. I was like, she hating on me. But she was telling me the truth. But you know, I went downstairs after our meeting. I got to the payphone, and I took out the paper in my pocket. It said Wayne State College, Nebraska, and I was upset. I was like, why couldn't this be New York City? I mean, I want to be a rapper. I want to at least be around culture. You know, this is what's in Nebraska? Buffaloes and Indians? I didn't know nothing about Nebraska, but I called them up and I said, hey, you know, 402-375-7000. I said, hey, do you guys have a history program? Yeah, we got a history program. Do you got a basketball team? Sure, we got a basketball team, and send me an application. I want to go. You know, I'd never taken a visit to this college. I never, you know, my dad actually, I guess I'll say misappropriated a U-Haul truck. However you want to say it. My dad was able to get a hold of a U-Haul truck, and we took this U-Haul truck, empty U-Haul truck with nothing in the back. It's in Nebraska, and you know, I had a credit card. Now, they don't teach us finance in school. I got my first credit card. It was $500. Maxed out this credit card on gas money just getting there. And we got to Nebraska, and my dad wanted to turn around. He was like, man, all these farms, we're gonna take you back. I don't want you to go. But I said, nah, just show me where the coach's office is at, because, you know, I'm a basketball player. I led the county in scoring. I'm about to play basketball. So I took my basketball to the coach's office. I said, hey, you know, I'm Jahmal Cole. I'm gonna play basketball on your team. And you know, they got these 7-foot giants, these people from overseas. He was like, man, you're way too skinny and little. Where are you from? what are you talking about? You're going to play for my team? I said, nah, man, I'm going to play for your team. He was like, whatever, man. We don't even have